Oh yeah, we're back. Good day everyone. Hope you're doing well. I was actually not planning to stream today. However, I saw the amounts of news. And obviously Trump has nominated his vice president, so that's kind of a no-brainer. Obviously we have to cover that, and there are some more news as well. Today we won't have any Twitter, which is for the best, because otherwise I would be mouthing, and I would be once again very toxic against humanity. Although deservedly so. The humanity deserves the toxicity. Especially those people who fantasize about nuclear war. I won't delve into this topic this time around, however. One day I'm gonna make a one big stream where I'm gonna talk about why nuclear war is a completely idiotic idea and everyone who thinks about it should be dealt with in Minecraft. So, we got a obligatory reminder, YouTube channel, we've reached 50 subscribers, very nice. 117 videos. The AOC video is still going strong. So hopefully some other videos will catch as well. We've published some interesting pieces, if I may say so myself. Biden urges de-escalations of tensions after the assassination on Trump. Then we got the airport police found more than 100 live snakes in men's pants. Again, quite interesting. Then the Denmark to implement a climate change animal fighting tax. Yes, indeed, that is going to happen. So another interesting video. Then we got something from science about a supermost that can be used to colonize and terraform Mars. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well, my Lithuanian watcher. An assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Unfortunately, it did not blow up. A little bit sad, however, it was in YouTube prison for like 5 hours or so. There should be a people fighting tax. I mean, there are such instances where it might not be a bad idea. So I mean, this video, Democratic Socialists got the endorsement of AOC, still going strong. 1800 views in 3 days. That is massive. That's the second best video I ever published. The first one is private at this moment and will remain private as it is part of my previous YouTube journey. But this video is only like, I think it was 700 views something away from the video I did about Mobile Legends. Who knows? So yeah, YouTube channel doing quite well. Can be better. VODs channel, I uploaded once again some VODs. The VODs video on demand from yesterday will be published tomorrow. It was quite a long stream, although I made it sort of longer when I began ranting on Twitter. That may be the reason why I had not added any Twitter post this time around, because people are stupid, people are quite unhinged on Twitter. Who would have said, who would have think? So I'm gonna take a sip of water and I'm gonna show you what our first article is going to be, and this is going to be a longer one because we are going to be talking about the Trump's new vice president, JD Vance. Honestly, I did not expect it. For some reason, I thought this guy was black. I'm not quite sure why, but I know somebody black was kind of going friendly with Donald Trump. I don't know why I associated this particular name with that black guy, but it is what it is. And as you can see from the And the score title, it's going to be quite right, if I might say so myself. So stay tuned. I'm just gonna quickly mute myself and take a sip. Honestly, I expected he would. I don't know, honestly, who I expected him to actually pick as a VP. It would be logical to pick probably the Haley candidate, Nikki Haley, because first off, it's a woman. Second off, she also has some sort of a loyal base, if I remember correctly. There were some people who sort of refused to vote for Trump. If you make research, then you'll find out that there are actual Republicans against Trump. They even have a Twitter account I do not follow, and I do not really care to check because I'm not American, therefore I'm not really interested in their politics. He would never pick her. I mean, yeah, I can see that. However, it would be the most logical move from strategic perspective. Because women do not vote for Republicans much. I wonder why. I really wonder why. Definitely couldn't be because Republicans let Christianity to interfere with their politics. He wants someone loyal to like his heels this time. Well, I would expect probably somebody who did not call him a American Adolf some years ago. I mean, it was 8 years ago, if I remember correctly, but still, it's a. If there's dirt like this on him right now, then I assume the Democrats will find some dirt as the time goes on. He doesn't want to make the same mistake as with Mike Pence. Huh. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, yeah, probably that's because of the January 6th, though. Yeah, that's probably January 6th. He's completely loyal right now, though, I see. And he's rich. Yes, I watched a video that he and his campaign spent a lot of money to win the senatorial elections in Ohio. And we're gonna get to that after we finish this article. We're gonna get right into the details. Trump picks hillbilly elegy author JD Vance as his running mate. James David Vance, who authored the best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy, was once harshly critical of Donald Trump, referring to him as America's Schmittler. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Donald Trump selected JD Vance, a Republican U.S. Senator from Ohio, as his running mate on Monday, July 15, elevating a politician who once criticized the former president in acid terms but has since become one of his stalwart defenders. The news, first announced on Trump's Truth social media website, emerged at the start of the 4-day Republican National Convention in Milwaukee as Republican delegates, as expected, announced the former president as their nominee. Indeed. That was guaranteed. After lengthy deliberations and thought and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator JD Vance of the great state of Ohio, Trump wrote on Truth Social. And I honestly disagree. I don't think he would probably make even top 3 of candidates. Top 3. He probably wouldn't even make top 5. The 4-day convention opened in downtown Milwaukee, preserved formed 2 days after Trump narrowly survived an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania, and hours after he secured a major legal victory when a federal judge dismissed one of Trump's criminal prosecutions. The selections of JD Vance, author of the best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy, could help boost turnout for Trump in the November 5th election. The Ohio native is deeply popular with the Republican candidate's base. Yeah, maybe he's popular with the Republicans. However, his popularity with regular voters, well, we're gonna get to that. A staunch conservative from a Republican state, Vance is unlikely to bring many new voters into Trump's corner, however, and may even alienate some moderates. Some Trump supporters has pushed him to select a woman or person of color as his number 2 to expand a coalition that skews towards white men. Yes, a lot of people were speculating if he would pick Vivek. And obviously he would not pick him because the average hillbilly would simply not get it. He would not probably get. He would think they would think his surname is some sort of a satanic shout, Ramashwani or Ramashwami or something like that. Although he was doing relatively okay in after when he was going for the nominee in the primaries, he was doing relatively well. I know people started to talk about him after some elections, not elections, after some first results and debates. However, once again I do not know anything about his stances. I know less about him than I know about Ron DeSantis, and I do not know much about Ron DeSantis at all. I mean, I know some of his stances on certain thingies, and that's about it. Like, the main people I care about are the top tier politicians. So the president and probably someone like the head of the Senate. And even then, I mean, I'm goddamn European, like I'm not gonna invest my time into the US politics that much. Soon after Trump's announcement, Vance emerged on the convention floor with his wife Usha, shaking hands and hugging delegates who swarmed the curveball. He smiled widely as he was formally nominated to be vice president and is scheduled to address the convention on Wednesday. And Trump will be speaking on Thursday. Several advisors to Trump said the former president, who survived an assassination attempt at a Pennsylvania campaign rally on Saturday, had focused on choosing a running mate he trusted and got along with. Okay, so yeah, you were right. He picked somebody who's going to be loyal to him. Among those who had privately advocated for Vance, according to several sources familiar with the matter, were Trump's eldest son Donald Trump Jr. and conservative commentator Tucker Carlson. Oil businessman Dan Eberhard, a Trump donor, saw the Vance pick as a sign of Trump's confidence in his campaign against President Joe Biden. Polls show the man locked in a tight race nationally, but Trump has measurable lead in most of the battleground states that will decide the election. It is likely he's going to also get some boost from that attempted assassination. Just like Reagan did when there was an attempted assassination on him. Although that happened when he was already a president. So he already won one landslide, if I remember correctly. And otherwise, I mean, I know he had some very expensive ideas. So I don't know how well that went with the American people. I mean, he won a landslide the second time around. Not sure how much that assassination attempt influenced that, but I mean, I guess people back then were very supportive of him, probably because they did not know just how much of some of these ideas to really counter the Soviet Union and to raise the preparedness of United States costed. He demonstrated Trump doesn't feel he needs his VP to deliver any specific demographic or state about Hartzell. He's confident that he has this race wrapped up. In selecting Vance, Trump passed over other possible contenders, including U.S. Senators Marco Rubio and Tim Scott and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. At 39 years old, Vance will represent a younger generation in an election that features Trump 78 and Biden 81, bringing counterweight to the Democratic ticket that also includes Vice President Kamala Harris, 59 years old. She's pretty damn old as well. I don't know why, but I thought she was entering only now her 50s, but damn, like, she's fucking old. Vance shares Trump's aggressive approach to politics, and his conservative statements on issues such as abortion can turn off moderate voters. Oh yes, he's very anti-abortion. Biden told joint base Andrews in Maryland that Vance is a clone of Trump on the issues. I mean, he's going to have to keep his mouth shut, because the abortions are still quite sensitive theme, and it still could rear up some women voters for Biden to swing the tide to his favor. And I have something in my nose yet again. I don't know why, but I always have something in my nose when I speak like that. I'm not quite sure why. Like, I have something in my nose, but when I wipe it, when I sneeze, there's nothing. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know, another dimension in my nose, so I don't know. Opinion polls shows a close race between Trump and Biden, though Trump leads in several swing states that are likely to decide the election. Trump has not committed to accepting the results of the election if he loses. Hillbilly elegy. Vance's rapid ascent has been unusual for American politics. After a troubled and impoverished childhood in southern Ohio, he served in the Marine Corps, won a scholarship to Yale Law School, and later worked as a venture capitalist in San Francisco. He sounds like someone who was specifically created. Like, he was specifically made to be a politician. Like, he looks like an embodiment of a American dream. You start poor, you go into the military to serve America, fuck yeah. Then you get into the law school, and then you become working as some sort of a businessman. So yeah, you make it. He sounds like that embodiment of an American dream, and it sounds very plastic to me. It sounds very, very plastic and very artificial. He rose to prominence after 2016 when he wrote Hillbilly Elegy, in which he explored the socio-economic problems confronting his hometown and the cycle of poverty that has entrapped Americans in the Appalachian Mountains, where his mother and her father had their origins. The book criticized what Vance saw as self-destructive culture in rural America and sought to exploit Trump's popularity among impoverished white Americans. Vance himself was harshly critical of Trump before and after Trump's 2016 election win against Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, calling him an idiot and America's Adolf, among other epithets. But as Vance geared up to run for the US Senate in Ohio in 2022, he transferred into one of the former president's most confident defenders, supporting Trump even when some Senate colleagues declined to do so. Vance has played down the January 6 attack on the US Capitol. He said he doubted Mike Pence's life was in danger despite violent protesters getting within meters of the former vice president as Secret Service agents rushed him out of the Capitol building. Vance has also echoed Trump's criticism of the way the Justice Department has persecuted the January 6 rioters, accusing the department of disregarding due process protections. In February, he declined to criticize Trump for encouraging Russian President Vladimir Putin to attack America's NATO's allies if they fail to increase their defense spending. While the Republican Party historically stood for free markets and embraced foreign intervention as an important national security tool, Trump's 2016 elections opened up significant rifts within the party. Vance has been one of the most vocal opponents of continued aid to Ukraine in the Senate, a stance at odds with many Republican legislative leaders. On the campaign trail, the former venture capitalist has also served as a bridge between Trump associates and wealthy Silicon Valley donors, many of whom have opened up their wallets to Trump this election. So yeah, he's definitely a product of someone. He's a product. I mean, open up a wallets to some Silicon Valley donors. I mean, I can understand he needs money. The Silicon Valley donors, like, I do not like the word Silicon Valley and donor together. Like, Silicon Valley is pretty much dead at this point. What is Silicon Valley? Tell me. Just some antique history with some antique grandpas. Throughout selection process, Vance's anti-corporate rhetoric and his opposition to Ukraine aid gave some donors pause, and for donors told Reuters in the moments after the selection that they felt let down. Many contributors to the campaign were hoping for a moderate or business-friendly nominee who would embrace free market economics and expand the electoral map. I see. Of all the choices he had, I think he chose the worst one. That is possible, said donor and Metals businessman Andy Sabin, who had been waiting for Trump's pick for running mate to see whether he would donate to the campaign. Yeah, there were definitely probably better choices out there. As I said, I mean, he would not pick Nikki Haley, although she would be probably one of the best picks because she could open up the doors to many females actually voting for Trump. However, this guy, anti-abortion, that's not going to open up any doors. He's also Christian, so that means he's not going to backtrack on his anti-abortion stance. That's also not good. Like, overall, yeah, a loyal lapdog, and that's about it. This guy does not seem like anything worthwhile besides a good rag with some money and connections to the rich people who will in turn probably gain something out of it as well. Of all the choices he had at yes, Vance is going to hurt Trump more than help him, Sabin said, citing Vance's Ukraine stand. Now, I definitely won't donate. Yeah, I do also think he's going to hurt him more than help. Like, I don't know. I understand he wants somebody loyal. However, this guy just, I don't know. We're gonna get to it also. We're gonna get also to the point I was talking about. Like, I don't know, this guy is plastic. Like, he's plastic. Like, I don't see anything about him. Like, I actually did research. Huh? I don't do research on people. That would be against my agenda. But no, I watched videos, already some videos about him, and yeah, like the people said that this guy is a very uninspiring pick. Like the only thing, the only factor that is helping him is that he is very young, so he can inspire young males to vote for him. However, like if you take a closer look on him, then if you're female, then you're never gonna vote for a guy like this. At least some senior campaign advisors were partial to Rubio, according to sources with direct knowledge of the matter. Rubio has significant political experience and might have helped boost the former president's support among Latinos. I'm not quite sure where Rubio used to be. I think he used to be a Florida senator. I believe he won Florida senator races. Some few times, so I think he probably would help him with that with that side. Trump's vice presidential selection process was drawn out and calibrated for maximum suspense. While the former president started with an informal list of at least a dozen people, he had whittled down his options over the course of 2024, with Vance, Burgum, and Rubio emerging as the most serious contenders. I don't know who Burgum is, so if I had to choose between the two, then I would probably go for Rubio. Because, I mean, Rubio at least has experience political, that's true. I think Rubio, I'm gonna search it right away. Marco Rubio, so... Нет, where's the answer in English? There you go. Of course, he's saying that JD Vance is a fantastic choice and all that shit. However, I don't buy it. There you go. Oh, he's a senator incumbent since 2011, so he's been a senator for 13 years now. So he has a plenty of experience. And Florida has been a swing state, so this seems more like a positive also. While the former president, many of Trump's former closest advisors did not know until Monday who the former president would pick. Burgum and Rubio received phone calls informing them that they would not be selected only hours before Trump officially tapped Vance, according to 4 sources with knowledge of those interactions. In a statement, the Biden campaign said Trump chose Vance because the Ohio senator would not stand up to him if the former president committed an authoritarian act while in office. I see. By the way, did you see that someone is selling a part of Trump's ear on eBay? No. No, I did not see that. I will not search that though. For how much he's selling it? For like $10,000 at least? Trump picked JD Vance as his running mate because Vance will do what Mike Pence wouldn't on January 6. Bend over backwards and enable Trump and his extreme MAGA agenda, even if it means breaking the law and no matter the harm to the American people, Biden-Harris Chair Jen O'Malley Diron said in a statement. Pence, who twice served as Trump's running mate, declined to endorse his former boss in this year. No place for violence. Sorry about that. No place for violence. The shooting attempt on Trump's life immediately altered the dynamics of the presidential campaign, which had been focused on whether Biden should drop out due to the concerns about his age and the acuity following a halting June 27 debate performance. Nearly 2 dozen of Biden's fellow Democrats in Congress have called on to him to end his re-election bid and allow the party to pick another standard bearer. The focus this week will be squarely on Trump. 130 grand. Nice. Mr. Businessman. The focus this week will be squarely on Trump. Having consolidated party under control, Trump could seize on the opportunity to deliver a unifying message or paint a dark portrait of a nation under siege by a corrupt leftist elite, as he has done at times on the campaign trail. Yes, I'm definitely gonna be watching his speech on Thursday. I am looking forward to see what sort of message he will deliver, and maybe if it's not going to be too late, maybe I'm gonna stream and make some sort of a reaction to it as well. We'll see. Trump has frequently turned to violent rhetoric in campaign speeches, labeling his perceived enemies as vermin and fascists. Biden has cast Trump as a threat to US democracy, comments that some Republicans say helped foster an atmosphere that prompted the shooting, even though authorities have yet to determine the motive for the assassination attempt. The gunman himself was shot dead. Yes, there also has to be a check on the gunman, and more research has to be done before conclusions can be drawn. The current story right now is that he was a Republican, although considering how he went in equipped, I mean, you never know. Like, I saw the guy, and maybe it was because of the angle. However, he did definitely not seem like your average human. He seemed more like an Habsburg, to be honest. But maybe that was because of the angle. And probably also, I mean, we could not get a photo of him because after he shoot, then the special services shoot it on him with that big sniper, and what happened was pretty nasty. Following Saturday's shooting, Biden sought to lower the temperature after months of heated political rhetoric. I heard that Karine Jean-Pierre, his White House speaker, had allegedly said they're gonna keep calling Trump the threat to the democracy, so I don't think there's going to be any cool down in this way. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, Biden said in an address from the White House on Sunday. It was an excerpt of an interview with NBC News set to air later on Monday. Biden said it was a mistake to tell donors last week it was time to put Trump in a bullseye, but noted that Trump has often used incendiary words. Indeed, both Republicans and Democrats use those incendiary words often. As I said before, I even seen some Biden punching bags, Biden, shooting targets, Trump shooting targets. Like, this shit is on both sides of the spectrum. Everybody is guilty. However, this case was because of a mental illness. Like, any normal person can separate the kind of a... I mean, it's sort of a humor. Like, people take it as a humor, most of the people. However, some people who are mental ill, whom brain simply does not work the way it should, don't see it as a humor and they think it's real, and then something like this happens, unfortunately. Because I mean, any normal human will say think that okay, this is just a humor, like they're obviously not serious, although their punches definitely can look quite serious, but hey, they would not do this in real life, hopefully. Biden ordered an independent review of how the gunman who killed a spectator could have come so close to killing them. Congressional investigators also sought to question the head of the US Secret Service, which is responsible for protecting the former president. And this is it. So let's head to the Wikipedia right away. So let's talk about JD Vance now a bit more. As you can see, the 2022 elections were his first. So he won. So you would say, okay, that's probably good. Well, we can take a look at this turnout and we can see that the Ohioan people were definitely not enthusiastic much, to be mild. And so you say, okay, but he still won with 53%. That's pretty sizable difference. Well, we're gonna take a look at 2016 elections. Oh, okay, that must have been a fluke. So let's take a look in the 2010 elections. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, so this guy must have been very popular. He must have been some really good politician. So let's take a look at the older elections. Oof, 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 oof. So yeah, JD Vance, not really what you would expect. Like, did not perform that well. I mean, he still won. Like, it wasn't popular wise, it was not as bad as the Rob Portman's elections one time. However, he he won by almost, if no, he won by 17%. Whilst this guy, JD Vance, won by 6%. Yeah, 6%. Like, there is a very dangerous close to actually being equal. And that's also a guy who's supposed to be rich, who's supposed to have funds. Let's see. Okay, so Trump has endorsed him, so he suddenly gained in the polls. So he wasn't even doing the best in the polls to begin with. The primary was also the most expensive in state's history, with candidates spending combined 66 million to the campaign. I would like to see which candidates spent how much. Oh my god, there's so many information, nobody can. General election. Hmm. Oh my god, there's so much data. I don't want data, I want words. Well, doesn't matter. So, yeah, 53%, the most expensive primaries. Yikes. And he won because he got endorsed by Trump. Also, you have to remember that. Like, and this is not really that much, like, considering Well, let's move on. Like, no need to just look at this so much. What is going to be really exciting or interesting is that he's going to debate. He's going to debate Kamala Harris, which is bound to be quite fun, in my opinion. So Kamala Harris has agreed to debate JD Vance on CBS News. Who will win? The date of the debate has not been decided yet. However, I'm gonna keep a close eye on it. I also want to watch the debate because this is going to be definitely fun. I don't really think she can really put up much of a fight. However, if she manages to swing the topic onto the women rights or onto the abortions, then this guy is completely cooked. This guy is going to be completely burnt. More than well done. So yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. I'm in this one. So let's go to the next article. Right away, I spent way too much over there and did not really tell much. However, what I'm going to tell quite a bit about is a soldier attacked with a knife in Paris, claiming to be a Christian. The suspect was already known for a murder. He had been admitted to psychiatric hospital for a murder committed in 2018. Age 40 years old, born in Congo, the man is of French nationality. How the hell did he got away from the prison? Like a murder, and he's gone from prison in like 6 years. How? Like murder should be like 10 or 11 years minimum. And it does not matter if it was your first crime. You murdered somebody. Period. The man suspected of stabbing a soldier at Gare I don't know, on Monday evening in Paris is already known to the courts for a murder committed in 2018, a case for which he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital, police sources said. The individual has been arrested for the murder of a young man stabbed at the Châtelet RER station in January 2018. He had been declared not criminally responsible in this case due to an abolition. No, I don't want to read this in French. Due to an abolition of discernment and had therefore not been tried, according to a decision consulted by the AFP. What? What do you mean not criminally responsible? It doesn't matter if you are mentally fit or not. You murdered someone, you go to the prison. Period. Like, there's no empathy. Like, you murdered someone. Like, what do you want me to say? Somebody died with your hand. And for that, you should go to prison, not to some psychiatric, to some psychiatrist. What the hell was that? I have to pause. God damn it. Okay, where we ended. Okay. I don't even know where did I end it. I'm probably gonna have to cut this out if this makes a video, probably not. The suspect called himself a Christian. Yes, and some soldiers in 1939 called themselves Polish soldiers attacking German outposts. This man, aged 40 years old and born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but naturalized French in 2006, according to one of these sources. According to initial information, he said he was Christian and shouted "God is great" in French. I think he probably mistook religions. I mean, shouting "God is great" is a practice of a little bit different religion. Surveillance camera footage shows the suspect following the soldiers for several moments before he carried out his attack. When arrested, he said he acted because the military is killing people in his country. The same police source added. I see. So he's a complete lunatic. The soldier was hit in the upper back while patrolling the guard arrest. He was evacuated conscious and taken care by emergency services. His life is not in danger. Wait. Oh, attack, not murdered. Okay, good. So he's not dead. Very good. For some reason, I read that he died. Wow, this makes this article now a little bit less grim. However, I do not understand how this guy was able to get away, how he was not put into prison. I mean, he should have been deported, obviously, if he migrated here from some country and he murdered someone, then you are deported, period. Like, there's no going around it. However, France is completely incompetent with deporting people, and this is not the first time. Somebody actually stabbed a lot of people, like 3 or 4 people in a metro. I believe it was in June or late April. It was also a guy who was supposed to be deported, but France did not deport him for some reason. And yeah, that happened as well. If a migrant does a crime, and especially violent crime like murder or attempt to murder or assault somebody, you deport them. Like, such people are not welcome in a communities. They can go back to their mud hut somewhere in Madagascar or wherever they came from, and they can chill out there with penguins. Do penguins live on Madagascar? Russia's Putin has no plans to contact Trump after assassination attempts, says Kremlin. I'm gonna keep this very short, and this is a very short article from Reuters, so it's not going to turn into a 10 or 20 minute article. Obviously, he's not going to call Trump. Like, why would he do that? Like, he's not a president. He's not a president yet. So, I mean, he has no business calling Trump. Like, what is that going to do to him? The Russians are pretty much waiting who is going to get elected, and afterwards they probably gonna start making some moves into the diplomatic sphere, probably. If Trump wins, that is, if the Joe Biden is kept in the office, then they're gonna do what they did up until now. Moscow. The Kremlin said on Monday, July 15, that Russian President Vladimir Putin had not contacted Donald Trump after the assassination attempt on the Republican US presidential candidate over the weekend and had no plans to do so. Asked if security measures around Putin would now be beefed up, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russian leader already enjoyed the appropriate level of protection. Security is already strengthened for obvious reasons regardless of incidents, Peskov told reporters, yes. And Putin is definitely more leaning towards his special services request, so he listens to his special services like FSB vehicles and does not really go against the council. So, I mean, if they propose some security measure, then he usually or always accepts it, because, I mean, obviously he's a kind of dictator, so presidential dictator pretty much at this point, and yeah, he knows like he has to abide by these security measures, but I think he was doing this even before the war, maybe even before the 2014 annexation of Crimea. We can only reiterate that the security of the head of the state is provided at appropriate level. Everything is necessary and is being done taking into account the international escalation of tensions in general. The Kremlin said on Sunday it did not believe the US administration was responsible for Saturday's attempts on Trump, but accused it of creating an atmosphere that provoked the attack. Trump was shot in the ear during a campaign rally in Pennsylvania after a major security lapse. The attacker was shot dead, and law enforcement officials said they had not yet identified a motive. Putin has not yet commented publicly on the matter. Peskov comments echoed those of some Trump's Republican allies, who immediately pinned the blame on Biden. After numerous attempts to remove candidate Trump from the political arena, using the first legal tools, the courts, prosecutors' attempts to politically discredit and compromise the candidate, it was obvious to all outside observers that his life was in danger, Peskov said on Sunday. There we go. And we're gonna have to stay to the next article, like there's nothing more to be said. I mean, Putin is going to call to Trump if he wins, or Trump is going to call to Putin, like not anytime sooner. If he wins, then obviously there's going to be dialogue. If he doesn't, then Putin will not care. Like he will not be in place of power. He's going to be rich powerful like man from Republican Party, but he will not be able to do too much as basically a civilian. I mean, obviously he's not going to care. So moving on. Associated Press. I'm gonna take a sip of water, and we're gonna talk about this piece of work. Okay. I just checked the channel analytics. We're back, and we can continue. We have 4 more articles and 2 gaming articles, and after that, I don't know, but it depends when we're gonna end. If we end in like hour or 45 minutes, then I'm maybe gonna do something else. However, if I find my thread, then I'm gonna be probably talking for a while, and after that we're just gonna end the stream. And I'm gonna chill out cause my throat is still a little bit itchy from yesterday. However, let's go to the article. Builders, how do you pronounce it? Sign? I assume it's scene. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna. Scene. Okay. Don't forget to unpause the music. There you go. Will the scene be green enough by the Olympics? Not even the experts know yet. Oh, somebody sent me a message or notification. Oh, I see. Okay. With the Paris Olympics less than 2 weeks away, the question hangs over the games. Will the Seine River be green enough for athletes to swim in? Triathlon and marathon swimming are scheduled to take place in the Seine, where it has been illegal to swim for more than a century. Despite the city's effort to clean up the long polluted river, the water has tested unsafe for humans in recent weeks and greener on other days. The games run from July 26th to August 11th. That's a positive news to be hearing, if you are actually a swimmer. Don't you think so? And no, I'm not going to be watching the Olympics. I'm simply not interested. I have not watched any Olympic games since like the Sochi games, which I don't even know when that happened. To clean up the river, Paris invested 1.4 billion euros in building infrastructure to catch more stormwater when it rains, the same water that contains bacteria-laden wastewater that enters the river during periods of heavy rain and makes it unsafe to swim in. In May, Paris officials inaugurated a giant underground water storage basin next to the Austerlitz train station aimed at collecting excessive rainwater and stopping wastewater from entering the Seine. The basin can hold equivalent of 20 Olympic swimming pool of dirty water that will now be treated as the centerpiece of major infrastructure improvements that the city has rushed to finish in time for the games, but to ensure that Parisians have a greener scene in years to come. Oh, the Paris Olympics. The Olympics are more than fun and games. They are a billion-dollar business with political overtones. Yeah. Probably. I do not remember. I used, as I said, Sochi games. It was a very long time ago, so I at that time I did not really notice much political stuff. I know it happened after the annexation of Crimea. However, I also know that some Olympic Games I think happen in Pyongyang, so I mean, on one hand, this seems like a bit unbiased. On the other hand, some people might disagree with me. But yeah, whatever. Breakdance will make its debut as an Olympic sport in Paris. Here's what else will be different at this year's games. Breakdance. But a few spells heavy rain could push eco levels beyond the level of 900 colony forming units per 100 millimeters. That is the World Triathlon Federation has determined as safe for competitors. The scene is not a special case, said Metin Duran, a professor of civil and environmental engineering at the Villanova University, who has researched stormwater management. It is complicated and a very costly problem. Paris, like many old cities around the world, has combined sewer system, which means that the city's wastewater and stormwater flow through the same pipes. With heavy or prolonged periods of rain, the pipe's capacity is reached, which means raw wastewater flows into the river instead of treatment plant. On a daily basis, the monitoring group Eau de Paris has tested the river water, yielding results that showed unsafe E. coli levels in recent weeks. following by results in early July that showed improvements. Paris Olympic organizers have said that if heavy rain affects the scene flow during the games, the triathlon would no longer feature the swimming portion and the marathon swimming competition would be relocated to the Paris-sur-Marne Nautical Stadium in the Greater Paris region. It's not very common, but it has happened a few times, said Aurora Cernuda, a head of communications at World Triathlon, an international body for the sport, about the possibility of the swim portion being cancelled. And it's always linked with water quality issues, Cernuda said. But organizers remain optimistic that drier, sunnier weather than what the French capital experienced in June will allow the events to go as planned. Buffeted by infrastructure upgrades, the sun ultraviolet rays kill bacteria E. coli in water. An AP analysis of weather data showed that in 2024, Paris has seen the second most days with rain than any year since 1950, surpassed only by 2016. Importantly for the scene's water quality, there have also been few stretches of days without rain. Paris only experienced 1 week-long dry spell this year. In early June, whereas between 1950 and 2020, it was typical for the city to have at least 3 such periods by the end of June, according to the analysis. Predictions of rainfall have become much more accurate up to a week in advance, said Jennifer Francis, a scientist at the Woodward Climate Research Center in Massachusetts. But the seasonal patterns of past decades no longer provide reliable guidance in our warmer world. With the games approaching, the feverish debate over the cleanliness of the Seine River has become a source of frustration for some athletes like Ronnie Perrault, a French triathlete who won a bronze medal in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Every time I meet someone, they worry that I'm going to swim in the Seine, Perrault said. But I've been swimming in this river for several years now. In youth competition, we swam regular in the Seine and never had problems. They probably checked the water also before they actually let them in. And especially in the youth competition, if they will actually let the kids into a water with high levels of whatever that thing was, then then their parents should have words with their coaches. But no, I think they checked the levels of it before. Or it's possible that maybe she swam there, however. This is the law. I mean, just because something does not happen to does not mean it won't happen to anyone else. Like, sure, you might be okay, however, that does not mean that like 10 or 11 other athletes that are going to be competing with you, or however many athletes, will have the same reaction. And that's why the water needs to be clean. Because there's always a concern that somebody can get ill or even worse. And if that were to happen, then it would be a PR disaster for the French Olympics. And for the Olympics in general. Although I don't know who watches Olympics nowadays, but hey. There's probably a lot of people. I never also heard Despacito. Well, actually heard it because one guy actually put it on song request, so I heard it. However, I heard it like in 2024, not when it came. Simply I did not bother. And it was mediocre. Like average song, better than probably a good portion of the songs that are currently released, but nothing that should deserve like 10 billion views or however much it has now. Last year, Perrault took a part in a test event in the scene. The setting was incredible with the Eiffel Tower as a backdrop, and the water conditions were not worse than anywhere else in the world, she said. On Saturday, the French sports minister Amélie Oudéa-Castéra took a plunge to demonstrate that the famed river is clean enough. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo has also said she would swim in the scene this week. Dan Angelescu, the founder and CEO of Fluidion, a Paris and Los Angeles-based water monitoring tech company, said there have been improvements observed in the river since the city's news infrastructure came online, but that's the scene's water quality remained fragile. His company has measured the scene's contamination levels for several years. Angelescu said it's hard to predict using previous year's data what might happen later this month, since the water storage basin and other infrastructure were not operational until a few months ago. It's difficult to tell, Angelescu said, speaking in early July after the scene's water has been tested clear than in several weeks prior. To see such a drastic improvement and so rapidly could be a sign that something is working, he said. AP journalist Mary-Catherine Belderman in Hartford, Connecticut contributed to this report. Nice Hadam reported from Washington. I have no idea how did they get then this info all the way from Paris, but hey, it is what it is. I included this article because, hey, the Olympics are starting and I know some people are going to watch it. Personally, I will not bother. I'm gonna have stuff to do anyways. And that's about it. I saw my own country's dresses for that event. They were pretty... I don't think creativity was the correct option in this case. Somebody also used AI to generate outfits for them. However, those were outfits that were already used before. So, I mean, it was nothing creative as you would expect from AI. There you go. Now we're gonna be talking about Disney again. We have talked about Disney before. That was when I was paying a visit to the right-wing media. A little bit more right-wing media than I usually read from, like Le Parisien. Although I don't know where Le Parisien stands on the political spectrum, but I would assume they are only like right-leaning, not like not like right-wing or like hard right-wing or anything like that. So, Disney's internal communications leaked online after hack report. Let's see. This is only 4 columns, so it's going to be quickly done. Data from Walt Disney's internal Slack workplace collaboration systems have been leaked online, including those related to ad campaigns, studio technology, and interview candidates, the Wall Street Journal reported on Monday, July 15th. Hacking group Noboch published data from thousands of Slack channels at the entertainment giant, including computer code and details about unreleased projects, the report said, citing the group's blog post. The hacker group said in a post on Friday that it had released over 1 terabyte of data from Disney. The leak information includes talks on managing Disney's corporate website, software development, job applicant evaluations, among others, with the data spanning back to at least 2019, the Wall Street Journal report added. Disney is investigating this matter, a company spokesperson told Reuters in an emailed statement. We'll see if somebody is going to download this, all of that 1 terabyte of data and is actually gonna process it and find something spicy. Another big company hacked. The other one was Ticketmaster that got hacked, and like $500 million of people's private data was at threat. I don't know how it ended up. I never used Ticketmaster, nor do I have an account there, so I was chill. Let's see. Let's go to the next article. Climate change is messing with time more than previously thought, scientists found. This seems like it's going to be a short article as well. Well, I'm gonna do my absolute best to try to talk about it a little bit more. I will make a video about this because this is an interesting topic. I found it interesting. I'm gonna... Oh, this is a Getty image. Okay, I'm gonna save it regardless. I'm gonna take a sip of water and we can get right into the business. Okay. The impacts of human-caused climate change are so overwhelming they are actually messing with time, according to a new research. Polar ice melt caused by global warming is changing the speed of Earth's rotation and increasing the length of each day, in a trend set to accelerate over this century as humans continue to pump out planet-heating pollution, according to the study published Monday in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. I mean, that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, if the work days are still 8 hours, then if you have 1 extra hour to regenerate, then I mean, that's only a plus, you know. The changes are small. Okay, it won't be 1 hour then, like 1 minute max. A matter of milliseconds a day. Okay, not even 1 minute. Boring. Not really. Actually, very interesting. But in our high-tech, hyper-connected world, have an important impact on computing systems we have to come to rely on, including GPS. It's yet another sign of the huge impact humans are having on the planet. This is testament to the gravity of ongoing climate change, said Surendra Adhikari, a geophysicist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and a report author. Why is somebody who's working at a Jet Propulsion is doing research on this? Can somebody explain this to me? I mean, when you say a Jet Propulsion Laboratory, like, you would probably expect a scientist who would be versed into the propulsion, you know, team, and not like into Team of Time. I mean, it's kind of strange, you know. It seems a bit like, what is she doing there? On one hand, this is quite important breakthrough, On the other hand, what is she doing at Jet Propulsion Laboratory? And how did she came to get? How did she get to actually find this thing out? Like, was she doing this on her day offs, or like was she doing this in work? The number of hours, minutes, and seconds making up each day on Earth are dictated by the speed of Earth's rotation, which is influenced by a complex knot of factors. These include processes in the planet's fluid core, the ongoing impact of the melting of huge glaciers after the last ice age, as well as melting polar ice due to a climate change. For millennia, however, the impact of the moon has dominated, increasing the length of a day by a few milliseconds per century. The moon exerts a pull on Earth, causing the oceans to bulge towards it, gradually slowing Earth's rotation. Scientists have previously made connections between polar ice melt and longer days, but the new research suggests global warming is a bigger influence on time than recent studies have shown. In the past, the impact of the climate change on time has not been so dramatic, said Benedict Soja, a study author and assistant professor of space geodesy at the Swiss University ETH Zurich. Once again, ETH, like, damn, like Ethereum Zurich, wow. Ethereum is really conquering the world, don't you think? But that could be changing. If the world continues to pump out planet heating pollution, climate change could become the new dominant factor, outpacing the moon's role, he told CNN. It works like this: as humans warm the world, glaciers and ice sheets are melting, and that's meltwater is flowing from the poles towards the equator. This changes the planet's shape, flattening it at the poles and making a bulge more and more in the middle, slowing its rotation. The process is often compared to a spinning ice skater. When the skater pulls their arm towards their body, they spin faster, but if they move their arms outwards away from their body, their spin slows. The team of international scientists looked at a 200-year period between 1900 and 2100, using observational data and climate models to understand how climate change has affected day length in the past and to project its role in future. They found the impact of climate change on day length has increased significantly. Climate change fueled sea levels rise caused the length of the day to vary between 0.3 to 1 milliseconds in the 20th century. Over the past 2 decades, however, the scientists calculated an increase in day length of over 1.33 milliseconds per century, significantly higher than at any time in the 20th century, according to the report. Milliseconds, huh? If planet heating pollution continues to rise, warming the oceans and accelerating ice loss in Greenland and Antarctica, the rate of change is set to soar, the report found. If the world is unable to rein in emissions, climate change could increase the length of the day by 2.62 milliseconds by the end of the century, overtaking the natural impact of the moon. It's barely 200 years In barely 200 years, we will have altered the Earth's climate system so much that we are witnessing the impact on the very way Earth spins, Adhikari told CNN. I mean, 2.62 milliseconds simply does not sound enough to me to worry. It's quite fascinating topic, however, 2.62 milliseconds. Is that even a second? Probably not. It's 0.26 seconds, if I remember correctly. I cannot say that I'm worried. I don't really see how this could be a problem. This would make 1 second in 5 centuries, which would make 2 seconds in 10 centuries, and these 2 seconds would be 20 seconds in 100 centuries, which would be 200 seconds in 1000 centuries, which is 10,000, 100,000 years. So I mean, yeah, in the long term, it will have an impact. However, in 100,000 years, we are either extinct or we are far beyond in technology. So this seems a bit fantastic article. I mean, it's a fascinating article. However, the tone CNN chose here was very fear-mongering, if anything. It's not that big of a deal. It will be big of a deal in many hundred thousands of years. However, in that time, our technology is going to be elsewhere, or we won't be here at all. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I just put my work on the table. A few milliseconds of additional time a day may be imperceptible to humans, but it has an impact on technology. Precise timekeeping is vital for GPS, which everyone with smartphone will have, as well as other communication and navigation systems. These use highly precise atomic time based on the frequency of certain atoms. From the late 1960s, the world started using Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, to set time zones. UTC relies on atomic clocks but still keeps pace with the planet's rotation. That means at some point leap seconds needs to be added or subtracted to keep alignment with the Earth's rotation. Some studies have also suggested a correlation between increase in the day length and a increase in earthquakes. Mustafa Kiani Sharwandi. I mean, there is nothing really confirmed on that topic. A study author and geoscientist at Ethereum Zurich, but the connection remains speculative and much more research needs to be done to establish any clear link. As I said, as I just said, it's not a fact. It's a theory, so tone it down a bit, CNN. Again, even then, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal. That comes from someone who studied IT a bit. Maybe it's a big of a deal. Maybe there's something I don't see. However, I don't know. At this point, I don't see like it's going to make an impact when 2 milliseconds per century. So like, let's say 1 second, it will make an impact in like 5 centuries. Okay, 1 second, that's an impact. Alright. By then, we're gonna have a much better technology. So it won't be a problem, I assume. And I just lost my thread. Okay. A paper on the same topic published in March concluded that while climate change was increasingly slowing the Earth's rotation, processes in the Earth's core could be more important and actually speeding it up, shortening day length. What we have done is to go a little bit further and re-estimate these trends, said Shawande, they found any influence from molten core was outweighed by that of a climate change. Duncan Agnew, professor of geophysics at the University of California, San Diego, author of the MITE studies, said the new study still meshes with his research and is valuable because it extends the results further into the future and looks at more than one climate scenario. Jacqueline McCreary, an assistant professor in physics in Northeastern University, who was not involved in the studies, said the new research helps inform a decades-long debate over what role exactly climate change will play in changing the length of the day. While there is now a general agreement climate change will have a net lengthening effect on the day, she told CNN, there has still been uncertainty about which progresses affecting time will dominate this century. This study concludes climate change is now the second most dominant factor. She said somebody would have to explain to me just how much of an impact it's going to have according to these scientists. Sorry. Hiccup. So somebody should just explain me in the comments just how much of an impact it should have according to these scientists, because I simply cannot see it. I cannot see it. I can see it in like several centuries that it's going to have an impact. However, by that time, as I said, we're gonna either have the technology or we won't be at all. It is a sobering conclusion, said Ethereum Zurich Soja. We have to consider that we are now influencing Earth orientation in space so much that we are dominating effects that have been in action for billions of years. No, that's simply a fantastic thing to say. That's an outrageous thing to say. How even dare you say we are the most dominating effects? We only assume a lot from the history throughout the observations. We have not lived there. We do not know how things were back then. We, with our impact on the climate, are the most dominant effect that have been in action for billions of years. I press doubt. And effects like the major volcanic activity in Siberia that almost destroyed the life on Earth probably had much larger impact than the asteroid hitting the Earth in Cretaceous period probably also had a bigger impact. Like, I know you're saying it so people are getting, so people get riled up a bit more. However, this is a little bit of fear-mongering in my opinion. And I think a little bit more of a research is necessary before we jump to these pompous proclamations. So, we got now our last article. Then we have 2 gaming articles, and afterwards, I don't know. I probably should go and play something. However, I think I'm just gonna go back to watching Star Trek. I don't know. I'm gonna check how the video is going. I could probably it's got 65 views in like 60 minutes. Damn. That's a lot. I'm still surprised just how well that video is doing. Like, I'm really surprised. Like, this is a major success. And it still keeps on going. Like, at this point, it's going for like 5,000 views. This is unprecedented. Alright, let's go. Let's finish these articles. My throat is in good condition, so I think I should not be pushing it any further. I'm just gonna let it rest. Moon cave could be base for future astronauts, scientists say. Moon is hostile to human life and its surface is exposed to powerful level of cosmic radiation, but experts believe the underground caves could be suitable for habitation purposes. Possible. I'm gonna save this image. An underground cave stretching tens of meters below the open pit on the moon has been discovered, which could be a potential base for the future astronauts, said scientists. This is the first lunar tunnel to be found, which could be accessible to humans, according to researchers. The hollowed passage lies beneath a pit about 100 meters wide in the Sea of Tranquility, a dark region on the near side of the moon which is visible with the naked eye. The region is also where the first humans on the moon, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, touched down in 1969. The cave is estimated to be 30 to 80 meters long, around 45 meters wide, and 130 and 100 to 70 meters below the surface. Previous caves found on the moon do not feature any entry points, the scientists added. The milestone discovery comes as NASA prepares to send its first crewed mission to moon in more than 50 years. It's going to be definitely quite interesting to see just how different it's going to be from the 1969. The moon is hostile to human life and its surface is exposed to powerful levels of cosmic radiation, but the experts believe the underground caves could be suitable for habitation purposes. Leonardo Cara, an assistant professor at the University of Trento in Italy, said, "For the first time we have located and accurately mapped a cave that is actually accessible from a pit on the lunar surface. We were able to obtain the first 3D model of a part of the cave, actual shape. Building a base on the surface of the moon requires highly complex engineering solution, which may be less effective than what is already provided by the nature." Lorenzo Bruzone, a professor at the university, added, "These caves have been theorized for over 50 years, but it is the first time ever that we have demonstrated their existence. The moon's surface is exposed to cosmic radiation that is up to 150 times more powerful than Earth. Indeed, Earth has an atmosphere and ozone layer to protect us from the radiation. However, even if we build the base on the moon, then we also have to keep in mind that you would still have to work out a lot due to the gravity on moon, because moon gravity is much lighter than on Earth, unless we would be able to control the gravity by then, which is at this point unlikely. The surface is also vulnerable to frequent meteorite impacts and extreme temperatures ranging from 127 degrees Celsius to minus 173 degrees of Celsius. Previous research has suggested an underground caves have an average temperature of around 17 Celsius, creating a suitable conditions for astronauts. Commenting on the study, Mahesh Anand, professor of planetary science and exploration at the Open University, said, "The future exploration of the moon throughout extended human presence would require protection from harsh environment and micrometeorite impacts. In that context, These underground structures could provide a suitable location for habitation purposes. Indeed. Well, habitation, not quite sure about that. I mean, it's possible, however, I mean, they would probably keep them inside. I don't think they would let the habitation outside. Maybe yes. I don't know. Like, we will have to see how it works on Moon. And this is the article. Yes, the underground caves are ancient lava tubes created by volcanic activity billions of years ago. Moon pits from dense ceilings of lava tubes collapsed. For the study published in the journal Nature Astronomy, the researchers reanalyzed radar data gathered by the NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter in 2009. I wonder how long that base would take to build. Well, it would take a long while to actually prepare the architect structure of that building, and then building it would take also a long while. So if we were to begin like in, let's say, 2038, we would be probably finished in about year 2000. It's very hard to say. It can be anywhere between 2045 to 2060. It depends just how much funds would be allocated to that moon base. Probably it would be much more if we would be able to find some sort of spatial engines, something like the ion propulsion, something we can use in space and we do not need to refill like every 10 minutes. That's a hyperbole, obviously. But indeed, as moonbase would be ideal. Jumping off points to a eventual colonization of Mars. I'm not sure if you hear it. I hope you don't, but it would be ideal because from moon to Mars, sorry, from Earth to Moon, like you would have to prepare your rocket upwards, which is going to cost some fuel, and then you would have to land on Mars. Then you would have to lift off Mars, and on Mars there won't be any like infrastructure. Probably the first time we arrive there, so that's something we have to also figure it out. And if we start from Moon, we're gonna have a base there. We can launch rockets from it. We can host, astronauts there, and we can have it as a checkpoint base of sorts. Also, it would be very good because we would be able to actually probably improve our understanding of gravity and how to control it, as well as creating a space weapons. After we make these first steps, then the technological evolution should really kick off. Make the first move and the technology is going to just boom, explode. So that's everything I wanted to say, and we're gonna head to the gaming articles, I guess. I'm gonna close the other article because it's not that interesting. And I'm gonna talk about Call of Duty very briefly because I'm not really interested in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 much at all. All platforms, of course. Let's see to which. Yes, this is the reason. PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Do you remember Cyberpunk? even before we got a beta version or beta version, the Activision pretty much showed us that they will be greedy about this entry, and it will not be a good entry because for creating a PS4 discs or copies, you're gonna have to have a bigger working force, manpower. You're gonna have to spend more time on actually polishing the game to actually make it playable on the PS4. Like, it's an outdated console at this point, and a very outdated console. Like, it has no business releasing games like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or any other modern games on PS4 at this time. Let this console finally die. But no, they're gonna keep milking it, obviously. So yeah, obviously, do not pre-order the game. I think it's not going to be a good game. I hope to be proven otherwise. However, I have no expectations for this game. Like, the fact it's going to be released on PS4 and Xbox One is a giant red flag for me. It's like Activision. Like, Activision games do not have the best of graphics. Like, if you expect some sort of polishment, then you're not gonna get it. Like, if anything, I think it's going to have performance issues. Who knows? Oh yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about it. Let's check the comment section. Maybe there's something interesting. Conversation. Hard pass, maybe I'll come back to COD when Black Ops 13 comes out, which should be around the year 2045. Maybe at that point these games will finally do something different other than implement a new way to dive around when running. Oh, he will steaming. Oh yeah, he got Seymour. What are steamed hands? Hams, not hands. Oh yeah, okay, let's read it. Okay. Oh yeah, because people used to. Oh yeah, why do people complain that the COD game that they used to love and they used to adore is now bad? Why do they complain about it, bro? Why do you complain? It's still selling millions. Why do you care, bro? Huh? Fucking soy boy. Oh, here we go. I play 95% for zombies. So your opinion is already irrelevant. Campaign, multiplayer, zombies. Campaign and multiplayer makes like 90% of Call of Duty. The multiplayer for most people makes like 80%, and the campaign, most of people do not care about the campaign, which is very unfortunate because the campaign used to be very good in all the Call of Duties, all the way up to Black Ops 2. Then it went downhill. Oh yeah, people are critical of the game. I wonder why. Maybe because the quality of these games went to jack shit. Maybe that's why. Maybe they want a better games. The games that they have been getting all these years. Maybe because they're disappointed by just how incompetent and greedy Activision is. But Call of Duty is in dire need of innovation and it's been getting none. It only is getting some new weapons, some new flashy skills, emoting in games, shit like this, but What it would really benefited from is if it would actually have physics, distraction. If it would have actually some sort of war mode, some like big battles, that would be fun. Do you remember when Call of Duty used to be about war? Yes, you were one elite squad. However, around you there usually used to be a lot of platoons fighting alongside you. Something like this would be fun to have in Call of Duty. But no, we're gonna get the same old shit. Because people are so stupid and buy fucking battle passes in the however you call the battle royale mode, I don't know. And I don't care. Oh yeah, the Warzone. So that's I think about it. Bro, you're a fucking loser. You're an absolute loser. Because their life didn't turn out the way they wanted it. Okay, bro, like, can I? Okay, this is a Stan. This is Stan. He did not call the shots on that. Oh yeah, the CEO of Microsoft did not call shots. Bro, you know exactly how business works, huh? Fucking clowns. Yes, some people should not have voting rights, and I fully support that in Minecraft. Hopefully you know how to make smarter decisions when trying to figure out what to play. They are trying anything you said. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, the acolyte. Okay, so he's standing the acolyte. One of the worst shows that had dropped. I mean, like I have not seen anyone from the mainstream YouTubers or streamers talk positively about it. Maybe I missed someone. I don't know. I do not watch Star Wars. I have not watched Star Wars since episode 3. 3, yeah. I watched a little bit of the 7th episode, however, I did not finish it, and I do not plan on finishing it at all. This guy is like, oh, you do not know how it works, like, why do you care? Or, oh yeah, people are complaining that the game they used to love is not good because their life did not turn out well because they are now poor fucking black men in ghetto. This is what he's telling you. Probably not about the black man, I used it for emotional value, however, hey, this guy is a loser, and losers do not deserve to be treated rightly. So now, since Xbox has produced a masterpiece, uh, what? Xbox has not produced a masterpiece in a long while. Masterpiece is a 10 out of 10 game. If it's an excellent game, it does not make it a masterpiece, but the lineup is nothing. What? I don't even know. Oh, he used okay, an emoji user. That's also probably shows his intellect. If you are an emoji user in 2020 in 2020s, then already your opinion is invalid and not even capping. Like, imagine using emojis in 2020s and using them unironically. You were waiting for over 5 years for the best version. Okay, this guy is some sort of Stupid idiot. I own all 3 consoles. Definitely something to be proud of. PC Master Race. This is why I do not like Netflix. Okay, so he was 3 years ago. He posted something 3 years ago on IGN. This is why I do not like Netflix. Cancel culture is very big on this streaming site. I'm not sure what this is about, but here he was talking about he does not like something, and then 2 years and something ago, 2 years later, he returns to the IGN and starts saying, "Okay, I own 3 consoles." Like, okay, who cares? Oh, here's what you meant to say. Yes, you were meant to say this. I do not like this type of people at all who are saying you were meant to say they want to put things into your mouth. I'm very creeped out by these people who wants to put things into my mouth. This is going to cause a lot of problems for people that can play it for a whole year. I mean, this is a regular comment. You will be waiting for the best version. Like, I don't know what this is about, but this is an emoji, like, whatever, I guess. Well, oh yeah, and here he started. Yeah, people complain, or maybe he's complaining, I don't know, people complain. Oh yeah, it's creative. Stupid does not equate creative. Like, just because your brain has fucked stupid does not mean it's creative. Hopefully you will be smarter. Yeah. You mentioned Spencer is the biggest job, people complain. And he's like saying the CEO of Microsoft does not have a final say on which studios are getting shut down. I mean, it would be board of directors, although I would expect the board of directors in Microsoft is in his pocket. Who knows? Because they don't have to, and you will gladly still support them. Of course, people complain. Oh yeah, their life didn't turn out the way they wanted it. Like, bro, you're so fucking pathetic. Yes. And there are people saying problems with cheating and stuff like that. Do not pre-order Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Do not buy the game. Sure, wait for some reviews. However, watch the game, watch the story, watch the multiplayer beforehand you buy it. You may not like spoilers, but simply because somebody says, because the mainstream suddenly says it's a good game does not make it a good game. It's probably gonna have some edgy missions to be relatable to those youngsters. However, edgy does not equal good. One would think you would know that. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Of course, I rented at an IGN comment section. That's pretty much classic over here at this point. Like people on IGN are different breed. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and hope you have a good day. Peace out. Let's music. Yeah, we have not been streaming for long, well, for much, but it is what it is. We also did not, we had one pause actually, because of Quake Korea. So I hope you enjoyed and peace out.